Three thugs in black suits thought they cornered easy prey in an upscale restaurant. Wrong move. Armed with nothing but a cracked spoon and decades of forgotten training, what happened next turned a simple dinner into the most viral takedown of the year. But the twist that broke the internet wasn't the fight, it was the heartbreaking reason why he'd been hiding in plain sight all along. Belle Vista restaurant sparkled amber warm under ornate light fixtures. At the corner table, three men in black suits crowded around a woman in a beige coat, her face tight with fear. The largest one adjusted a chair, his grin razor sharp. Time for a quiet chat. From the table, I moved forward a former driver in a leather jacket. I set a cracked metal spoon on their surface and spoke softly, but with disturbing clarity. "Wrong table, wrong night, gentlemen." The massive man growled. "What the hell are you supposed to be?" I replied. "A parent." "That's sufficient." I rotated the chipped spoon, and chaos erupted. David Thompson wasn't meant to be present. At 48, I existed quietly between other people's crises. Former driver, community mediator. My daughter Emma had a custom each morning. She'd create a paper bird from my jacket pocket. So you remember to breathe easy when situations get dangerous. My spouse Maria had perished 3 years back in a tenement blaze. Faulty wiring, missing sprinklers, a property firm that eliminated every precaution for maximum profit. Ever since, I spotted hazards everywhere. This evening, I'd brought Emma for dinner while I met with the restaurant owner about safety concerns. She sat creating napkin birds while I handled the inspection. That's when I spotted the issue's grease-covered sprinklers, a stuck emergency door, and something more. 3 men arranging themselves around table 15, obscuring surveillance cameras, cornering the woman. I possessed years of crisis management experience. Before Maria's death, before I selected mediation over hazardous scenarios. But reflexes never disappear. The woman wasn't present voluntarily. The atmosphere was tense. "She wants no part of this," I stated quietly, positioning myself between them. "Step back." The massive man chuckled. "What are you? Social worker?" Multiple patrons sneered at my ordinary attire. "I'm unfamiliar with them," the woman murmured. Her badge showed Jennifer Walsh. Something seemed wrong about the supervisor. His timepiece moved to the opposite wrist, recent ink marks. Someone had influenced him. Premium customers who obstruct camera views. I announced loud enough for nearby tables. A woman at the neighboring booth held her device, broadcasting live. "Oh my God, some man believes he's a champion." Anxious chuckling spread through the eating area. The massive man rose, pressing a heavy palm on my shoulder. Intelligent men understand when to retreat. I adjusted my stance, shifting the contact point. The copper chain gleamed as I inhaled slowly. The woman stated she's unfamiliar with you. The surveillance you're blocking would confirm that. The broadcasting woman focused closer. Her audience count was rising. Jennifer stared at me with familiarity. "Are you? Did you serve with HopeLink?" HopeLink. A designation I hadn't encountered in years. The woman understood something about my history. "I'm nothing remarkable," I stated. "Simply someone who assists when others require aid." The massive man clicked his fingers and his associates approached. One grasped for Jennifer's bag. She withdrew it. "Provide what we came for." Flash drive. Papers. Everything you removed from the Eastbridge documents. My pulse froze. Eastbridge. The property corporation that controlled the tenement where Maria perished. This wasn't coincidental, this connected to something larger. "Miss, what type of papers?" I questioned Jennifer. "Accounting records," she whispered. "Code infractions. Corruption evidence." "I'm a reporter." The elements aligned. Corporate enforcers pursuing investigative target. You're complicating this unnecessarily, the massive man told me. Retreat. Handle the adult situations like adults. The eating area quieted except for string music and broadcast commentary. 30 individuals observing, anticipating whether I'd withdraw. I glanced at Alex creating birds near the entrance. He pressed his chest. Our code for breathe deeply, remain composed. Here's the plan, I stated with calm command. The woman approaches the counter. You remain seated. We await law enforcement. The massive man grinned. Law enforcement? You contacted them? I retrieved my device, activated speaker, and contacted 911. About to now. Everything shifted. The massive man charged forward, his associates moved toward Jennifer. All my careful calming collided with individuals who never planned to calm down. The initial action arrived quickly. The massive man's palm thrust toward my neck, a standard intimidation technique. But I'd relocated. The copper chain reminded me to inhale as muscle recall activated. The chipped ceramic spoon extended my reach. The pointed edge contacted his wrist at the precise nerve location. Not forceful enough to damage, just sufficient to numb his hand completely. Good God! Someone muttered. The second man reached for Jennifer, but I'd already shifted. I seized a fabric napkin, twisted it into cord, and wrapped it around his arm. A slight tug forward, and his wrist attached to the booth leg. The broadcast erupted. Audience climbing beyond 10,000. What's occurring? This man understands combat techniques. The third man reached inside his coat, but I grabbed thermal paper from the terminal and secured his thumb to his finger in 3 swift motions. Pressure control. I muttered. Apply force here, dominate the entire hand. Non-aggressive restraint. Maximum authority, minimal force. Precisely the training that. Good God. Jennifer observed me. You're David Chen. From the HopeLink Crisis Management Program. The eating area fell silent. HopeLink? A patron inquired. The organization training crisis specialists? David Chen authored the calm response manual. Jennifer stated, her reporting instincts emerging. De-escalation methods for dangerous scenarios. He directed non-aggressive conflict management. Devices appeared throughout the restaurant. The broadcast reached 20,000 watchers. The massive man observed me with fresh comprehension. You're the individual who vanished after that tenement blaze. My expression hardened. That's unrelated. Really? Jennifer produced a flash drive. Because that tenement belonged to Eastbridge Properties, the same corporation whose code infractions I've been investigating. The same corporation that dispatched these men to silence me. The room buzzed with murmurs. Your spouse, Maria Chin, perished in that blaze because Eastbridge eliminated safety precautions. You vanished from HopeLink following her service. My hand located the copper chain. Alex's reminder to inhale. Across the room, my son observed with the serious look teenagers display when adults discuss frightening matters. I ceased training individuals to fight, I stated simply. I preferred helping people recover rather than creating harm. The supervisor moved toward the kitchen. Supervisor, remain here. I displayed my device, still linked to 911. The operator's been monitoring. They arrive in 3 minutes. The thermal paper restricted the third man's blood flow. I've lost feeling. Then stay motionless, I advised. The method reverses without lasting harm, only if you don't resist. Jennifer stood gradually, gripping the flash drive. This holds accounting records proving Eastbridge has corrupted city inspectors for 10 years. Fire codes, electrical standards, housing regulations. They've operated slums while claiming affordable housing. Sirens approached. The massive man attempted one final move. You believe this resolves anything? You think Eastbridge cares about one deceased counselor's spouse? Incorrect statement. The copper chain broke as my hand formed a fist. The chipped spoon reflected the overhead illumination. For one frightening instant, everyone anticipated witnessing something that would result in my arrest alongside these enforcers. Instead, I opened my palm and allowed the broken spoon to drop. The distinction between us is understanding when to cease. Police entered. 3 officers assessed the scene, 3 men restrained, 1 woman holding evidence, 1 former counselor standing peacefully. About 30 patrons recording everything. Someone clarify what occurred? The primary officer requested. Jennifer displayed the flash drive. I'm Jennifer Walsh, investigative reporter. These men attempted stealing papers related to my Eastbridge Properties investigation. This is David Thompson. He prevented assault and evidence theft. The officer raised eyebrows. David Thompson? The HopeLink instructor? Previous instructor. I corrected. Current parent. From across the room, Alex's distinct voice called. That's my father. Somehow that prompted everyone to applaud. The recording went massive. Wrong booth, wrong night. Became the week's most viewed social media content. 24 hours afterward, 40 million views across platforms. The instant where my copper chain broke, captured in slow motion, became an immediate meme. My device constantly rang. CNN, BBC, late evening programs. Everyone desired the composed parent who defeated corporate enforcers using restaurant items. I refused all interviews. Father, Jimmy Fallon contacted again. Emma announced during breakfast, presenting a paper bird made from newspaper. They want us in New York. What did you respond? That you're not a television person. You're a helping others person. The actual consequences were calmer but more meaningful. Jennifer's investigation triggered a federal inquiry. The flash drive held evidence of decade-long corruption involving inspectors, fire officials, housing authorities. 17 individuals faced charges. The 3 men encountered charges from intimidation to conspiracy. The massive man, Rico Martinez, cooperated with authorities within 48 hours. But genuine satisfaction arrived in smaller instances. Bell Vista's online reviews collapsed instantly. Management permits assault. Not recommended unless you enjoy dinner entertainment involving federal violations. The tenement where Maria died was condemned and demolished. A memorial park was designed for the location, supported by settlement funds from Eastbridge's bankruptcy. I stood at the construction barrier observing demolition equipment. Alex beside me, his hand in mine. Will Mother's location be beautiful now? Yes, son. Safe and beautiful. Employment opportunities arrived. Corporate protection firms, investigation services, crisis management companies. Stephen Park from Apex Security offered 6 figures plus benefits. Your methods are precisely what clients require. Non-aggressive, media-appropriate, defensible. Can I work partial time? I must collect my son from school. Park blinked. That's quite specific. That's my existence. I accepted a consulting agreement instead. Partial time safety evaluation and de-escalation instruction for restaurants and hotels. Adequate compensation, flexible schedule, meaningful work. My initial client was Bell Vista itself. I returned to that amber dining room 3 weeks afterward with my notebook and copper chain for a security evaluation. The new supervisor met me with clear nervousness. Mr. Thompson, thank you for arriving. We understand this must feel unusual. It's simply work. Let's improve this place's safety. They complied. Emergency routes cleared and verified. Panic systems installed. Staff instruction on identifying customer distress. Surveillance equipment repositioned. Most significantly, they established peaceful first procedure. Customer safety superseded premium comfort or revenue. Within 1 month, Belle Vista recovered and improved its standing. The restaurant where champions emerge became unofficial promotion. The genuine triumph occurred on a Tuesday evening during follow-up evaluation. A young server approached anxiously. "Mr. Thompson, situation at table 7. A man won't cease bothering a woman eating alone. Different individuals, identical dynamics. What's the procedure?" "Peaceful first. Alert management, activate panic system, document everything while maintaining safety." "Excellent. Execute." The server managed it perfectly. The man was removed quietly. The woman completed her meal peacefully. No drama, no viral recordings, no federal inquiries. Simply quiet professionalism improving world safety. I gathered equipment and departed home. Emma awaited with schoolwork and paper birds, eager to hear about Father's Day assisting others. I reminded myself to inhale slowly when the world became complex. Some items deserved remaining broken. Others merited proper repair. The distinction was recognizing which was which. 6 weeks afterward, federal courthouse steps bustled with reporters. Jennifer stood beside the U.S. prosecutor announcing final charges in the Eastbridge case. Conspiracy, corruption, criminal negligence causing death. I sat in the rear row with Alex, both dressed modestly. When statement time arrived, Jennifer called me to the platform. Rather than speaking, I performed something remembered longer than any official announcement. I removed the copper chain Alex had provided that morning and wrapped it carefully around the evidence flash drive. Then I positioned one of Alex's paper birds on top white origami stalk against black plastic. The symbolism was clear. Gentle protection surrounding hard truth, with hope positioned above. The press area fell silent. Camera clicks whispered like prayers. I stepped away without words. Alex took my hand. "My father doesn't require speech," he stated into the microphone, his voice echoing through the marble chamber. "He already expressed everything with his actions." The image copper chain, white bird, black flash drive became the case's defining photograph. It spread across social media with captions like, "Peace first, truth always," and "When champions don't require words." Back home that evening, I discovered Emma's latest origami creation on my nightstand. This bird differed folded from the front page newspaper featuring our photograph. "For tomorrow, Father, if you need to repair something else." I placed the bird in my work jacket pocket. The copper chain caught hallway light as I extinguished her lamp. Tomorrow would bring more mediation appointments, more conflicts requiring patient resolution, community disputes that separated people in ways they'd never notice. But tonight I'd help repair something greater than neighborhood issues. I'd help repair the concept that powerful individuals could harm others without consequences. Some repairs required patience, others simply required courage, timing, and willingness to say, "Wrong booth, wrong night," when it mattered most. Truth, properly managed, never remained buried long. Sometimes the most important mediation was performed by people nobody expected to be champions.